A wise man once said, examinations are temporary, but mangas are permanent. So yes, that's exactly what I've done in the last 3 months. I have been through a tough set of examinations and I've come out with having read none of my mangas and having increased my backlog because I've bought way more mangas. That is what I'm going to be showing you. Welcome to my second manga haul. So first off, we're going to start with a classic sports manga, and it's just been really hard to find them. And of course, I'm talking about Slam Dunk. So as I said before, I don't know much about the series except for the fact that it's about basketball and it's a sports manga also written by the guy who has written Vagabond, which is considered to have one of the best manga arts and in general one of the best stories as well. Also, they look beautiful on a shelf, so that's maybe a thing to consider. But yeah, Slam Dunk I've heard way too much about. Flipping through the pages, I do kind of like the art, but again, it is sort of like a vintage art style which you would see about in mangas around its age, which is about 15 to 20 years ago. It's definitely good, it's definitely clean, and when there are action scenes, this guy really pulls through. So yeah, I don't mind, but I've been too used to the digital style of art at this point. Although yeah, I'm really looking forward to collect the early volumes of Slam Dunk so that I can start reading this manga. So next up is a series which I never thought I was going to be purchasing because only its first volume is out. And of course I'm talking about Sakamoto Days. Is essentially a similar concept and a similar vibe to Spy X Family. So if you like that, I would definitely directly tell you to come to this. It's about a hitman called Sakamoto. He basically used to be a very famous hitman, one of the best in the business. One day, he essentially fell in love and got fat and left his old life behind to start a family. And leaving your old life behind as a hitman is apparently not allowed. So basically, the first volume is about how people are trying to go and get him. And honestly, I kind of like it. I laughed definitely. The first volume is decent. So if you want to go and buy it, I would say definitely pull the trigger. Buy the first 3 volumes and then you can decide for yourself if you actually like the progress of the story, because I really want to know where they can take the story, because right now I can't see it going as far. So we'll see. Okay, so a couple of videos ago, I had said that I prefer to go in blind when it comes to critically acclaimed mangas. And what other critically acclaimed manga can I be talking about but the best? So yeah, I have finally, this is really heavy, I finally purchased Berserk. I actually didn't purchase it. It was a gift from my brother. So yeah, get yourself a rich brother. I've got to collect the first few to read them, and I'm not going to go online to read Berserk. That's definitely a crime. That should be a crime. Of course, you've got to have heard about Berserk. It's the #1 manga of all time on my anime list, according to basically everyone. And I genuinely don't have words for how technical and how detailed the art is. It is basically the best manga art ever on any manga ever. Knowing nothing about the story, all I can say is that even if the story is garbage, which I know it's not gonna be, and don't get triggered by this, I still would own all of them for just the art. So yeah, that's gonna say something about the manga. Okay, so next up is Daytime Shooting Star. It is one decision that I've made which I do not regret at all, because it is one of the most underrated series I've read in a while. And I don't use those words lightly. The story is essentially about this girl who has moved from a very small town to a very big city. I believe it is Tokyo, I'm not sure. And the story is essentially her going through her life, trying to adapt to this new situation, trying to make new friends. And honestly, the best part about this manga are the characters. I have never ever liked characters this fast in any manga. But with this, every character is very well defined, very well explained in basically the first or second volume. But moving on, it is essentially about this girl finding essentially her first love. And weirdly enough, she has a huge crush on her teacher. Yes, I understand. Might sound a little bit weird. Honestly, just forget the age difference very quickly. I actually don't know what the age gap even is. But leaving that aspect behind, it's a very cute manga, and I would definitely tell you to go for this if you just want to chill out, if you just want to have a series which is like your escape series. You don't want to put much brains in, but you can get emotionally involved in it. You are going to love this if you fall into that category. So next up is again considered a classic manga, which is Rurouni Kenshin. I don't know much about it. I only know that it was around the time of Naruto when it came out, and it is considered a classic because it is a classic with not being the length of a classic, which is like 70 volumes. This basically ends in about, I think, before the 30th volume or something like that, and I absolutely appreciate it because I've been through too many shonen mangas which are too long. But yeah, I really do like the format. The art is the old style of manga art, and I don't quite like it that much. But I think, as far as I know, the story is really good. So I'm gonna put all of my hopes on that. Next up are two series which are very, very loved by basically the whole community: 20th Century Boys. And honestly, I've been waiting for this manga for so damn long. I'm gonna be sitting down, taking out the time, and reading all of the Naoki Urasawas that I have. Which brings me to the other Naoki Urasawa work that I bought, which is technically very obvious. It is the best work, technically, again, from the ratings, which is Monster. And I bought the first 4 volumes and I've started reading it, and till now it's going well. I can't say it's anything out of the ordinary, and plus the art style is a little bit older. I don't quite like Naoki Urasawa's art. The art doesn't hold up, but definitely the story apparently does, because till the part I've reached, it hasn't really progressed all that much. I knew a bit about the first volume, so a bit of the fun was ruined for me. The point is, if a manga is in the top 5 of the all-time best manga list, it is there for a reason. Next up are a few series that I really needed to collect to complete sort of my collections, or make progress in my collections. First up, we've got volume 3 and 4 of Vinland Saga, a great series. I gave the first volume a 9 out of 10. It is a little bit complex. It is a seinen series, not a typical shonen kiddie kind of story. It gets pretty heated and intense, and you need to be in a certain mindset to actually properly understand and absorb the series. Next up, we have got One Punch Man, and I really needed the first few volumes to start reading the series. Okay, so after 3 or 4 days of my last manga haul video, I basically found volume 1 of Chainsaw Man, and I needed volumes after volume 8. And all I can say for Chainsaw Man right now is I'm thoroughly disappointed with it. Even if a person doesn't quite hate it but doesn't really like the series, they're not really going to speak out because there's a positive air around this whole series, and they're going to basically be called out. And honestly, I don't give a shit. This series does not deserve to be up there up till volume 8. The hype for it was insane, and it's just not a very good series. The story fails to make something of itself, again, up till volume 8. And the only saving grace that I can say is the art, which is very, similar with the vibe that you get while reading the manga. It's very grunge, it's very raw, it just feels nice. But honestly, being a filmmaker myself, I feel that the story is the main thing. The art is something that complements it, the dialogue is something that complements it. The main thing is the story. That is exactly what you're reading this for. I've read basically more than half of volume 9, and there seems to be something that's coming. But honestly, after the first 3 volumes, that's exactly what I've been feeling, but nothing has happened. It doesn't deserve that much hype at all, and it has thoroughly disappointed me up till volume 8. So yeah, that is it for this video. If you actually like this, please show your love in the comment section or by subscribing. And yeah, I'll see you very, very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.